I'm Marla G. Maiuri. In preparing for this video, I felt spiritually that it was time to share more with you about me, about my history, about who I am now, my journey, about, of course, spiritual vision, go global, and about how you might elect to be a part of this also. I hope you stay for the duration of this video. It all began on a tricycle, of course, after the hospital. When I was about 3 years old, riding my tricycle up and down the sidewalk in front of my house, I remember at that early age looking up to the heavens and having such amazement and wonder for what existed beyond our physical experience here. Even at 3 years old, I knew there was so much more, and it fascinated me. Then at about age 6, my Nana transitioned out of this life. I was told Nana died, honey. Again, I was about 6. This was my mother's mom, and I can vividly remember being in the viewing room at the funeral home, and I can actually picture it, and I can see myself going up to my dad. And this is also a story my mother recited several times to me, thinking I didn't remember it. I remember going up to my dad and saying, "Dad, can I give Nana a kiss?" Well, when he and I walked up to the casket, my mother would always say, as soon as he picked me up and leaned me into the casket, she said you could hear a pin drop in the room. I gave Nana a kiss on the forehead, and I remember thinking and feeling such peace. I had no fears around death then, and I never have. I think it's because I came here knowing that everything is eternal. Another story that I love to share is my brother Robert and I, the one closest to me in age, would often, as kids, climb on our bikes in the summer and take off, and sometimes stop at a corner market and get a soda. Maybe if we had enough money, we'd get a sub sandwich. And he'd look at me and he'd say, "So where do you want to go eat, Mar?" And I would say consistently every time, let's take our sandwiches to the church and eat. We'd ride our bikes to the church, a beautiful church, amazing grounds. And we'd sit and we'd enjoy our sandwich and our soda, and we'd play and laugh. And I always loved the atmosphere and the energy of a church. So it's not a surprise to me now that I find myself speaking at various churches, and I have so many friends that are clergy. I remember as a family, on occasion when we would dine out, which was an occasion, I remember often observing, if I did observe someone eating alone, I would often pose those difficult questions to my mother. And soon she knew what was coming. I would say, "Mom, why is that man over there eating alone? Doesn't he have someone to eat with?" Yeah, she was confronted with a lot of those questions from me as a kid. The questions that are difficult to answer. Of course, now as an adult, I recognize that sometimes those occasions where we're alone, even eating alone or going to a movie theater alone, can be a sacred time for us. Again, going back to Nana, my mom's mother, both my grandparents had an amazing woman that worked for them, domestic help, that took care of their house, cooked. Well, she was part of the family. We all loved her so. I remember when we'd visit, say at lunchtime, and my grandfather was away at his office, Lulu would join us at the kitchen table for lunch. That's what I love. So on the occasions that we had dinner together and my grandfather was home, Even when we ate informally in the kitchen, Lulu was not joining us at the table. That was kind of hard for me. I didn't understand it at that age. Sometimes she would be eating at the kitchen island on a bar stool only feet away. And so regularly my mother knew what was coming. I would lean into her and ask, "Mom, can I go eat with Lulu?" Sure enough, my mom always responded, "Of course, honey, you go eat with Lulu." Well, Lulu would see me walking over, she knew, and she'd say, "Come on, child, come eat with me." That was just who I always was. I was always very observant of others and what their experiences were. Again, of course, as an adult now, I know that my perceptions about what was going on wasn't always what I saw at 3 or 6 years old. I have so much appreciation for those that spend much of their adult life in jobs and workplaces that are structured, working for other people. Because early on I realized that wasn't to be part of my path. I had to revisit that several times to get that message in a strong way, till it got rather uncomfortable for me. And the interesting part is I always knew that I came here to teach and to lead. I am a teacher and a leader to my core. It feels so good now at this point in my life to embrace that and move forward in a new way. My family of origin, my immediate family, they've all transitioned out of this life. They are still with me in many ways, actually in all ways. It's just an extension. In sharing that, I have such peace and happiness with everything in my life, including all of that. Well, how does that happen? That's something we all can struggle with. That's something as we share more, as I share more with you through my writing and speaking, I will expand on more. Not so much because I have a need to speak on it, to talk about my history, but because I know in doing so, I will be helping so many of you. Spiritual vision, go global. This is a global message. Why? Because we are all connected. We want to feel our oneness and experience that in a way we haven't yet. I will be working with world leaders traveling the globe. I know this. It is a universal truth. When I was born, my dad decided he was to name me. It's a cute story. He was very deliberate about it. He took much time. Despite the impatience of the nursing staff and even my mother, he took his time. When he came up with my full name, my initials M.G.M, my mother said that he stated, Marla Gertrude Maiuri, M.G.M, my little star. I do believe my dad knew that I was destined to do something very specific during my time here. No more important than any other contribution that anyone makes. Yet he knew it would put me on a path that people would know who I was. I'm certain of that. We're ready to close that gap even more than we ever have, to experience our evolution together in this lifetime and really make progress, really see some significant change. We're ready for that. People are wanting it. To shed the fear, to not get to the end of our lives and say to someone before we leave, I'm sorry I didn't spend more time with you. And I'm sorry I allowed this to get in the way or that to get in the way. I invite you to get to know me more by viewing my other recordings, my other talks on my YouTube channel. It'll give you a real sense of where I come from. We will meet through my writing and my speaking. If you happen to be at one of my speaking engagements, I hope I have the opportunity to give you a hug. Know that we are all in this together. How can you choose to be a part of this with me? First of all, number one, you can choose to hold this vision and this message in prayer or meditation for all of us. You can see me thriving and hold the best vision for me as a leader with this, for all of us. Two is you can connect with others on this message, sharing, deciding to discuss this with other people in your life, your immediate family, maybe even your church leaders, people in your spiritual community. You can offer your support on social media. You can go to any of my social media sites to learn more about me, share with others, and support it in all the means that you already know how to do. Three, we have set up a link that you will see in the description box of this video. We will also probably be offering that link in all my videos. That is an ability for you to make any financial contributions you wish to contribute and feel led to. How and what will that do at this time? Until I state otherwise, any contributions made in that way right now will be helping to support me so I can stay on this path to do what I'm here to do what I do best. Those closest to me have said on many occasions, Marla, we hope that you can keep doing this. This message is amazing and you're the one to deliver it. You know what? I will be doing it. And you can help in that way. With a consistent cash flow coming in, I will be able to continue this without interruption. All methods of support are of equal value to me. We can do this together. I love each and every one of you. Namaste.